You guys, it is so lovely outside. Like, look. It is just so nice. It's insane. I love it. Hi you guys, Latoya here. Welcome to my crafty space. I know I've been gone for quite a bit, but I have been active on my Instagram. I have not been in the space to create really whatsoever. Just being busy with like other things, you know, like working out, meal prepping, trying to get that in my life. And when I've been sitting down to have time to craft, I haven't really, like, okay, I've literally been stuck on one card and I haven't been able to get out of that card. So I'll show you. So this is the card. Now I did take like little snippets of me creating this, so I might insert those. And if I don't, I'll just go ahead and show you these backgrounds. So what I did was I created a slew of backgrounds because I was like, okay, what do I love? What do I want to make? And I was just sitting here just trying to figure out what to do, and I just was a little uninspired and kind of lacking motivation. And so what I suggest, if you're also feeling the same, is to just play with your favorite color. That was pretty much the first thing I did. I was like, you know what, I like mustard, so I went through my yellows and I picked a color that was more of like the mustard tone for me. And then I was like, okay, now what kind of stamp set do I want to use? Because as crafters, especially with the pandemic and, you know, being at home and online shopping and just growing our craft stash basically due to, you know, boredom, and then being online, you see a lot of new things and you see things other people have and you're like, oh, I want this and all that other stuff. If you're able to. I know some people are not able to. That is a whole nother thing. So that is also why I am on a no-buy for the next 2 to 3 months, because I don't like need anything. I pretty much have everything that like I want. And I was looking at some of the Valentine's Day releases for a lot of the companies that I like, and I only purchased, and this was prior to I had stated my no-buy, I only purchased like 4 stamp sets, and I follow like, I probably have like close to like 30 stamp companies that I like, and of course I'm trying to find new ones, and I like supporting small businesses and all that jazz too. But yeah, I was just like, you know, I already have chocolates. I don't need another chocolate. This chocolate here looks like the chocolate I already have. I can play with what I already have. You know, just stuff like that. So I'm doing a no-buy. So if you're also interested in that, you know, hop on board. I did only do it for the next 2 to 3 months because I also want to be realistic. But we'll see when that is up what I do purchase, because I am only allowing myself so much money to spend on stamps because I went hard last year, you know, kind of, you know, with my depression and, you know, going through stuff. I just really amped up my stash, which was good and bad. So now I, you know, have pretty much just lots of things that I like that meets my style, and also did destashing, and I still have more giveaways and stuff to do. But anyways, I digress. I'm now using everything I have. I'm not purchasing anything else. So I went through and I made a little bin, and I'll show you a little bit. So here is my bin of stamps that have bees and florals. Well, not really florals, but just like bees. And I don't know why, but I came across this Etsy digital paper, like digital kit, and I stopped myself from buying digi-kits because, again, I already have so much stuff. I don't want to be overwhelmed with having stuff to where I can't, to where I can't create, because that's just not how I want to be. So I need to absolutely love it. And while I did love the digi-kits, I was like, hey, I can use what I have to create something similar. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do. So picked my favorite color, and then I was like, okay, let me go through all of my stamps that have bees and such on them, and just, you know, create with that. And it's funny because some stamps literally only have one bee, like this has one bee thing, and I just threw it in the bee stamp set because my stamp box, because that's primarily what I want from this. But I also remember that I have these vintage looking Victorian like sentiments there too. Then this here, this bee is super cute. So what I did was I took these 2 stamp sets and I made these backgrounds, and I did one background and I was like, you know what, let me just create a lot so that way I can make this card different ways, like one card different way, and really stretch, you know, my supplies. And what's funny is when this set came out, this is old, but when it came out, I remember seeing it and I was like, I'm not interested in this. And then I solely purchased this set for this bee. And then it turns out this set here, which is also old, I purchased this off of eBay. I loved these eggs and just how cute they were and how they look so different. I'm like, oh, I can make such a cute, you know, card with it. And then the number 147, that's super cute. But then there's also this bee here too. So it's nice that Stampin' Up! Just did, you know, a different variation of including bees in these sets. And that if you look at these bees, they're similar in style. So that's also what I love is when I buy stamp sets, even from different companies. Let's see, like there's a bee here in this hero and this graphic 45 stamp set. This bee also has like the vintage bee look, which would go with this bee here. But for some reason, I didn't actually see this while I was looking for sets, and I just decided to use the 2 bees to make these backgrounds. And I do have a couple more bees stamp sets that have bees. They're not specifically bee stamp sets. So what I did was I just gathered everything that was similar and put it in a box, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play around with this stuff. And there was also this stamp set here, which I purchased off eBay. It had this inside, and I remember seeing this set and I knew I wanted this stamp set mainly because of this beehive. And I'm really glad I got it because it's kind of hard. If you Google like bee stamp sets, it's kind of hard to find, like, yeah, stamp sets. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. And it also came with this too. So these 2 were also in that set, so I decided to use those. So what I suggest is figure out your favorite color first, play with that, gather a theme or something together, which I've also noticed from looking at junk journals, people go by theme. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. So then, oh, I'm like, that's FedEx. I know I didn't order anything. It wasn't for me. Okay. So then I did, you know, several sheets. I think I have one more sheet of white also, but I did white. And then I also did the mustard. And then here you can see I started this card with my traditional, I did ink blending. I just put a piece of tape on it just so I can see how the layers looked, because I started this card and then literally I just drew a blank and I've not been able to move. So I ink blended around it because that's the, you know, look I like. And then I knew I wanted to use a black matte, and then I placed this on, and then I sponged ink blended around the background here. I'm sorry, I ink blended around the edges. And you can see just how different this looks, right? Crazy, crazy awesome. Okay. I'm getting excited just like sharing with you guys too. That's probably another thing. I don't have anyone to share with, so yeah. And by the way, I don't know if I want to talk about it, but I'll talk about it in another video. I was a part of this one Facebook group, and I am now no longer a part of the group. So that was something really interesting that happened. So, so we'll talk about that later. All right. So the next thing I did was and this is what I just recently did, and I absolutely needed to do it because it was driving me absolutely batty. I put together all of my tags, die cuts, I guess you can just say tags and die cuts, and yeah, they're all tags. I put those all together in a box, so that is my go-to accessory box. And you know what? I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so this is a Stampin' Up! Box. It's an old box, and I just don't have any other boxes, so that's what I used. Normally for my stamps, you see I have these white containers here, but I don't have money to buy these right now. I'm just going to be completely honest. My funds right now are for certain things, and I said I'm on a no-buy, so I cannot purchase those. So I use this box, which is something I needed because I needed something large enough for me to fit everything. So this is just my box with different tags and frames and just different things I would use on a card to embellish and have inside of tucks or decorate. This was like the most recent thing that came, which prompted my no buy, because this was an eBay bid, and this is so perfect. Like, this set, it was selling but from another seller for $55, and I was like, that's ridiculous, but this is, you know, one of those coveted sets, supposedly, I guess. And the bid started at $20 for another seller. It went up to $46, you guys. So I still saved some money. I was pretty much like, I'm gonna bid up to $50, and yes. And this is why we say our craft rooms are an investment, because they really are. So I put any and everything that could be a stamp, insert, that can be a little tag, whatever have you, and threw it inside of this box. I feel sane now. Okay, and I have my dies in another box. But, oh, and I have this sitting at my desk. This was something I came across on eBay. And it's kind of cool when you get stamp sets that like has someone's name on it. Like, oh, this belonged to Mary, or this belonged to Leanne. Like, it's kind of cool. It's also, you know, kind of sad, because did the person just lose their love for stamping, or was it a forced thing, or did they pass away? You know, just, you know, there's history behind stamps. And now I own these stamps, and my history will be behind these stamps. And I don't know, I think I might, like, you know, make a video or something about that one day, because it's kind of sentimental, you know, especially since we spend so much time and money on these things. They actually mean something. Like, every stamp I have, I love, and I have for a reason. I don't just have it just to have it. And that's why, you know, I destash so much, because I just don't want to have things just to have them. Okay, anyways, so creating that box has made me feel so much better, because all of those things are in one spot. And I know when I go to create a card and say, okay, I want to use this bear stamp set. If I'm going to use this and a couple other bear stamp sets, after I stamp out all these images, it's like, okay, this card, do I want to have tags? Do I want to have a pocket? What am I going to put inside of those? And I can go right to that box and sift through and try different shapes and things and start blending and such, and then, you know, make something. Just total relief, makes me happy. So that's pretty much what I did here. Is I took this envelope, which is crazy because I didn't even know I had this. This is from, I think, Mama Elephant, but didn't even know I had it. And I've never played with it before, obviously. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a go. And I did it a couple times. I don't know if I'll insert the clip, but you'll see it here if I do. So I did do it a couple times. First, I left it blank, just all cream, but it was just a bit too drab. Then I decided, oh, it would be really cool if there was like writing on the inside of the envelope. Like when you go to open it, there's some decoration here. So then I used one of my stamps. I also discovered that I don't have a full stamp that has cursive on it. So I need to get one of those just to add something to my to get list. So I used a really small stamp and just stamped multiple times. And I just did it in the same color because I thought that would be cute. And then I kind of distressed the edges a little bit and sponged around it just to make it look a little old. I wish I could have gotten on the insides of this, but I could not. This piece here is actually a piece by itself, so it's very fragile and flimsy. And when I did go to ink blend on the inside as a trial, it looked absolutely terrible. So if somebody knows about like really, really small brushes, please let me know, because I can't find anything smaller than this. And it's, the surface area is too large. It still ends up getting everywhere. So, all right, enough of that. So I put this here, and the cool thing is it actually opens. So I'm going to use that as a little pocket. And I decided to stamp these images out. And then I looked at all those stamps and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have the same color scheme. I did some ink blending, and I just couldn't believe that I made like my own really cool ephemera, you know, full of bees for this awesome bee card. I decided to leave this one blank because I thought the grunginess of it and the ink blending alone did it justice. It didn't need a piece of bee ephemera on it. This here was really cool. It was an experiment. I stamped out this tag first, and then I stamped the bee, and I was like, you know what, if it's not perfect, it's fine. And that's another thing with crafting. It's like, hey, things aren't going to be perfect. It is fine. Like, I have so many rules and stuff to follow other places, you know, being a nurse and working all the places I work. Like, I just need to let go, and crafting just lets me go. Okay, here we are. So I stamped out, you know, some of my things, and then this was a little trial here, and I was like, oh, okay, that'll fit perfectly. Cool. Let's see here. And then this was definitely an experiment. This is actually a tag, and if you see the die, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to be different. Instead of just keeping it, you know, horizontal, I'm just going to flip it so it's vertical, and I'm going to ink blend. And who cares if it looks pretty or not? And then the bee little seed pack, beehive seeds, those don't even exist. I'm like, oh, it fits perfectly in here. So that was fun. That was me thinking outside of my box. And then I was like, oh, that's going to make us full tag. So I want this here, and just moved a jar a little. And then I was trying to think, then I ended up stamping this out. But again, this was just me experimenting. I stamped out a bunch of images. I was like, oh, can I add this to this card? But I'm like, you know, I don't really like the busyness of this because my background is pretty busy. So I want something more solid. So I went to my box, and I'm like, I'm sorry. It's not, I'm like, I told myself, okay, this tag here, this will be perfect. Just here on the corner. So now that's what I'm doing. And then that's when I decided to just come on and start recording, because I kind of feel like my groove is back a little bit. And then I went through my ribbon and twine stash, and I decided on this color here, which is like a brown. I need to get more of this. This isn't gonna last forever. I wish I would have bought two. So I think a couple swivels around here will make this look pretty great with that addition of that there. And I might need to add something else. I don't know. As you can see, there's no sentiments anywhere, so I need to figure out a sentiment. And usually what I do is I pick generic sentiments, because I don't know who the card is going to, what it's for, if I'm going to give it away, if it's just going to be, you know, something I just keep. But my goal is to not just own a bunch of, you know, just have a bunch of cards. Okay, so I'm wondering if you guys can see. So this piece here, which I'm going to just go ahead and cut out. But geez, there are so many cute digital ephemera kits. That's pretty much what jump-started me with figuring out tags and wanting all my tags in one place and purchasing more tags. Because I was just like, oh, that's so creative and how fun. I want to be able to have that collage-y look on my cards. And tags, pockets, tucks, those all give you that look. So. All right. Just going to tape that down because I want to see what I'm doing. I don't think I need to double stamp. I decided to use the beehive from this stamp here because it's adorable. And if I add a couple lines to it, it'll give me like that stitched look. But because there's lines here on this tag, I think it'll look fine. Now, the tag is going to be placed like this. So I'm wondering if I should just do this ajar. Because I'm going to have this here. Wondering if I should just have this here. Yeah, I think that'll look fine. Because normally I would just have it straight and then just stamp this on straight. And if I do that, when I go to turn it, it'll look a little awkward. And that's not what we want to do. And I'm going to stamp this in black. First time inking this up. I have that little hole there, which I need to contend with. So I'm going to stamp off just to see what it looks like. I might want to double stamp. Okay. Okay, that's good. Wondering if I should stamp off and make it look a little faded. Let's see how that looks. I don't know. I don't think so. We're just going to do full strength. It'll be fine. All right. And with the lines there, it helps it blend in a little bit, where if it didn't have the lines, on the tag, I think it would just be too not as agey. I think the stitch line makes things look aged. And I can also add some in with my, oh jeepers, oof, real life crafting. Let's add a few flicks in here with this. So I think that's what I'll do. And you can kind of see how adding these lines are actually helping that stamp kind of blend in a little bit, kind of like here. Now I could have used a thicker marker, pen, but I didn't, and that's fine. Man, I really like that. I can't believe I did that. I'm just surprising myself with what I'm doing, you guys. So, all right, so now that we have that, I'm going to ink blend this just a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to color the hive. The other hives are colored. This one, I'm not sure yet. We shall see. Sorry, my desk is a bit dirty just from sitting here untouched. All right, let's see. Get my oxide brush. Make sure you mark your brushes. And where's that color I was using? Load up this brush. I know I'm actually going to have to buy some ink soon because hopefully when it goes on sale, but I think I will need to because one of my oxides is already low, which sucks. It sucks, but what can you do? All right, so this I'm just gonna blend in happily. And I'm actually blending around it. What is this? I hate these little fibers and things that get everywhere. Now what's cool about DigiKits is that you don't have to do all this because it's already done for you. It's pretty great. But you know, it's okay. I'm learning to do things on my own, and I will have these tools to use towards other things, so I'm not upset about it. So now I'm just blending a little around the edge. All right, now I might make this a little darker, and I think I will color the hive. So I like that. I'm going to blend my edges just a little bit more to have more depth. And then I think I'll be good. Just blending this off. Okay. I'm actually going to make a video about how to ink blend if you're wondering too. I don't know. I've seen in some boards, some people say they can't get it. And I kind of notice oddly that I'm really good at ink blending. And literally it was just through a lot of practice. So if you're interested, do ask. But there'll be a video coming. I also have to make a video for one of the Christmas cards that someone requested I redo. I have not forgotten. It's just, I'm so sorry. My mojo's like, we're not doing that. So I apologize. And my giveaway, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick a giveaway winner. Again, I want to do a hand drawing, so I will do that this weekend. So stay tuned for Saturday. I'll do the drawing. And thank you guys for following along and such. And also notice I have a lot of new followers, which is pretty cool because, you know, you're never sure like who's actually going to like your content, especially when you're just doing what you like to do and what you want to do. Okay, that, I like it. So now, put that over there, clean this up. I'm not going to clean this brush just because I might need to blend with it again. And you know what? After doing so much blending with this particular oxide, I think that I'm going to have a dedicated set of blending brushes just for this color because I use it so frequently. I think that's the best thing to do. Now I am going to go ahead and just fill this in a little because I feel like it needs it. And I'm going to use the colors that I used earlier, which also suggests, you know, using a color chart and making colors. Let's see. Man, I am so thirsty. It makes no sense. I was just about to color it just right on here. And then we just need to figure out a sentiment. Oh, and then the inside of the card. How silly me. Especially now that I'm doing more like pocket, junk journaling type things. I definitely want something on the inside of the card. Oh dear, my marker is done for. This is another thing to go to my list. You see that nib? That means this marker is dried out to the dried out. It still has a little left, but I'm probably gonna have to replace that nib, and that's okay. So I always do a swatch of color just to make sure I'm starting out with the right color for what I'm doing. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally just using 2 colors here. That's what I did for the card, you know, everywhere else on the card. And I'm just blending that out. I've not done this in so long, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Normally I turn the paper and all that, but right now my care level is pretty non-existent. I'm merging these 2 colors. So what I also do is I touch my markers together, and that helps the 2 colors blend together. So you get that look when you go to flick. And I'm also trying to make sure I flick properly. It's a really nice color. All right, let me go ahead and be official and turn it. So the great thing about starting off this way when you create is you're immediately happy because you're seeing a color that you love. And it just motivates you to keep going. Because it's like, oh, I really like that color. Okay, well, I need to see this through. I need to finish this. That's how I feel about it. Just gonna flick this just a little more. So it helps motivate you to keep on going. All right, I think that's good. I feel like it's a tad dark. It's a tad dark. It's not perfect. But it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it. Oh dear, you run your hand against your marker. Casualty. It's good to have a small alcohol pad or sanitizer on deck. All right, so this is done. What you can do if you don't like so much highlight around it, I'm just gonna do it really quickly, is just take your brush, which has a little bit of ink left on it from ink blending, and just going over the area, just to darken it up just a little bit. See, I just toned it down just a little tad, because it just seemed a little too, even though it's cream, it just seemed a little too white. Seemed a little too white even though it's cream. Oh, that's perfect. I love it. And remember, odd numbers are what's great. So now I need to figure out a sentiment. Just make sure my caps are on my markers. So I'm going to go search for a sentiment. And I also need to figure out what I'm going to put on the inside of the card, because I don't know yet. Usually the inside's just very simple, but there's something right here. This would also be nice to put here. That could be cute. Maybe I'll do something like that. Or maybe I'll use a different tag. I have a ton of options. And it doesn't matter if you use the soap. It doesn't matter if you use the same thing on your card repeatedly. If you look at some ephemera kits, they have some of the same shapes, some of the same images used over and over. Remember, it's not about how much stuff you have. It's about how you use what you have. I'm also talking to myself. All right, so I'll be back. I'm just gonna finagle a little bit to figure out what I'm gonna do on the inside and the sentiment. Like I said, we're gonna have this here going down, but I still feel like sentiment is in order. I feel like I need another piece like right here, and it might be another, it would have to be 3 pieces, because odd numbers are what's appealing when you're looking at cards. So I might do 3 right there, and then we'll make another card which will be very different from this card, which is going to be so cool. I decided to use this piece stamp set here, super cute, and do something different. As you know, I just did this tag here and put that beehive on it and colored it with my Copics. Well, now I decided for the inside I wanted to use that same tag, but to make it look different, I used this bee. And no rhyme or reason, I just stamped. I was like, you know what, screw it, let's just get to do it instead of overthinking. And I love how different it looks, and it's so super cute. So that is going on the inside of the card, and it's actually going to be faced this way. So I'm going to now redo my envelope, because I want it to have this old world texture from this Stampin' Up! Embossing folder. I really wish they would just label their embossing folders. Tailored Expression does. Just label it so I don't have to, please. They cost so much money. So just going to use this embossing folder, because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have any embossing on my card. Let me just, you know, do this for a bit of fun, and then redo that. So right back. All right, so I decided to do a couple things. So I sponged around my envelope here, and here's just a trial of what the other one looked like, but I actually cut the top off, so sorry. I added the bees here, but then I decided I didn't really like the look, so I was like, all right, I'm still gonna use this letter piece that I created. I'm just going to adhere it to my new piece. So I really like this. I have that embossed like old world feel to this paper here. And I like it a lot. So now I'm just gonna distress it just a little bit. And then I will go back over, because I should have distressed it first and then inked it, but I wasn't really thinking. But again, I make cards on the fly, and when we do things on the fly, that's when we figure out what we want to do. So when we go to remake things, we know what we're looking for. But you guys know I'm not a big remaker. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and just go over these edges just a little bit, where I just tore into, just to give it that color back. Okay, there we go. So not too disheveled, but just enough to make it look aged. And I'm going to affix this portion on. I'll probably do for some more Fabri-Tac. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac because with this piece, because of all of the bends in the cardstock, I need glue that is going to like super adhere to all the nooks and crannies. And sometimes my art glitter glue does not work. And not sometimes, it didn't work like a couple times, and then I just started using Fabri-Tac, so I haven't gone back because I know better. And I think this aged look is what I was looking for this little envelope here. Just so, I don't know, I thought it was a bit distracting with the bees on the front, but I just wanted something. And the bows in the paper and all that just gives me what I'm looking for. And then this here, this little bee, I'm going to throw it on the inside. I just, you know, did the tag, stamped the bee. I'm going to place him right on the inside here. And then the sentiment can go here, which I think is fine. And I don't think I really need to color the bee. I think the inside's fine without it. I mean, I could, just to give it a little bit of pop of color. I think I will. So for the inside, I think I'm going to color this. I was going to leave it plain, but I'm like, we'll just give it a little color. Just so it pops a little. There we go. Not something I felt like I had to do, but just a little color, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I don't know if the head's colored, and honestly, I don't care, because this doesn't need to be a representation of a real life bee. So I think that will bring the inside to life just enough. Yep, I like that. All right, so I am just finishing up this card. I just put on that piece of twine here, which unfortunately was like an afterthought. So I had to lift up the edges because I had already glued them down and then put it down. So now I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to put this on top or underneath this twine here, which honestly, I really like this. I kind of want that on top. So I do like these on top. I really like the addition of this twine, but I don't want it. I don't think I want it. Especially with my little sentiment I decided to do. I don't know. I don't think I really care for it cutting through my sentiment like that. So just gonna put it on top. No big deal. Gonna use a few pieces of tape. So I need it about here. Oh, well, that was almost perfect. You can kind of see it. I didn't actually intend for these things to be popped up, but kind of just happened, so I think it's fine. And I did pop this up because it's going to make it easier for fudge cake. I popped this up because it's easier to take these in and out when you can actually have this piece as like a divot. So these parts are pronounced. This part doesn't have any pop-up tape on it. So you can slide this in and then it comes to a stop. Put the others in. And everything is just tucked in. Nice and neat. All right. That's the outside of the card. Jeez, can't believe I did it after all this time. Oof. And this just gets tacked on the inside. Just, you know, nice and simple. Whoops. I feel like it wasn't over enough. All right. That is my card, you guys. I'm trying to think, but I don't think I need anything else here. I like it. Has a lot of dimension to it. It's pretty detailed. And I'm quite happy. I mean, all I'm thinking is like, oh, maybe I should put some, let's see. I was going to say black sequins, but I have these black Nuvo drops. Don't know if they'll work. So, try this out. I haven't used these in forever. I like the liquid pearls, but I don't know. I have all these Nuvo drops that I like wanted, and now I like, oh, jeepers. Oh my goodness. That's too much. And now I'm just, oh, it's really pouring out there. Maybe I'll use this. I don't know. Let's see. I feel like one could go here. Yep, I do like that look. One can go here. And then I'll put one here. All right, now I think the card looks great. You can put a little note here. So cute. Those are in there. I'm getting better at this, you guys. Then open it up. You have a super cute tag right here. I might start blending on this side too, but as of now, I don't. So I hope you guys like my card, and I hope you do something crafty that makes your heart happy, and just stay true to what you feel like doing, and, you know, go with your mojo. Talk to you guys later. Bye.